to our community of health. This is our 90 days of momentum building up. I'm Dr. Jay Hitson, and I am so glad to be back, to be home again. And but what an incredible weekend, and what an opportunity to be around so many of you this weekend at the Biblical Wellness Retreat. I was able to stop and see my family, and one of the things that is really, really important to me is the concept of legacy. So, maybe this is something that as you get older, I'd love to see those of you who think about this a lot as well, to put in the chat, or to put into the comments some of the things that you really think about. But in context of legacy, I have seen how there's so many incredible individuals, and I've seen that the way that they've lived their lives and had just such a dynamic impact. There we go, we're back. So one of the things that I've run into, or one of the things I've seen a lot, especially as you've been through these different seasons where you've been with, you've had these amazing people in your life who have incredible impacts, and just were such an important part of your life, but then they didn't take care of their health, and they weren't able to finish strong. They weren't able to end the race in the way that I honestly, their legacy deserved to end. And or to, as they're finishing the race. Whenever I was younger, so my grandfather, by the time I got into the years where I really knew, knew what was going on, and knew him, he was already pretty much bedridden. And I never really got to know the man. I kind of only knew this grandpa who was kind of grouchy. You know, um, I didn't really get to know him as a man, and it just really lost a lot of his. He lost a lot of his impact, in my life. And here's one of the things I'll tell you is, it's because of that, his health. He was bedridden because he didn't take care of some of his arthritis. Oh, yeah, I see. If anybody has any questions, go ahead, put them in the chat. I'm happy to help, and answer things that I can answer in the process. So one of the things that we've been thinking about a lot, especially as we've had a lot of accidents and falls and different issues with several of the members of my family, and how this is really impacting. This is going to impact their end years. This is going to impact their last act of how they're going to be able to be remembered. Ah, all right. I'm not exactly sure. I'll come back to some of these questions here at the end here, I promise. So when we were as we were going through, and I've had this experience with my grandfather. I've had this, now I'm seeing, in our fathers, that we're having just different health issues that are coming up, and in the context of how your health impacts just, again, that those years. I have so many individuals who they want to do so much more, they just don't have the energy. They're only in their 50s, their 60s, their 70s, and they're like, I just don't have the energy that it takes. I don't have what I needed to do all the things. And as we're getting into the community of health, as we are getting into this 90 days of momentum, let's begin with the end in mind. What is important to you? How do you want to be remembered? Because we are coming into the holiday season where memories are getting made. What is it that you want what do you want for your legacy? What do you want for your memories? And keep in mind too that when we're talking about health, that fundamentally, if you don't have your health, you don't have the ability to you don't have the energy, you don't have the momentum, you don't have all of the things that it takes to be able to have these amazing holiday experiences for everybody, you don't have the energy and the stamina to help everyone else in this process. So that's one of the reasons why I am, obviously I'm focused on health because that's what I do, that's my career, that's what I'm about. But let me just say, what matters to you? And furthermore, I want to get into this today. It's with regards to routines and your daily routine and the things that you do. Keep in mind that so much more is caught than taught. And as I was working, as this weekend, as I was around my family, which I don't live near them, I haven't lived near them in many years. So when I do go home, it always astounds me of like these different routines, these different habits that I totally forgot where these things started. I'm like, I'm watching my mom and I'm like, I can't believe that I've been doing these things, these certain ways all these years and never realized I just picked it up from you. Just totally let that go. So with regards to and so with regards to your legacy, you're passing down some habits as well, and it's just really something very important to keep in mind as as you're looking at your life. Here's one more thing I want to bring up, with regards to legacy and habits and the different things that we're going to be building up with the momentum over these next 90 days. There's something called the mirror theory, and the mirror theory is essentially the things that annoy you the most about yourself, you tend to be annoyed watching in other people. It's a really fascinating kind of phenomenon. All right. And so, and you think that's, no, that person's just that, that family member. No, that's just annoying. But it's interesting when you do a little bit of that reflection and seeing how often that's what's happening is that there's like an element of what they're doing that you really don't like about your own habits and behaviors that makes that. And once you become aware of this, especially, let me just say, like, as I'm watching my mom interact and I'm like, oh my goodness, I have become my mother. Here we are. um, and it's just so interesting as I see, my children and whatnot, those little irritating things. I'm like, wow, that hits closer to home, and that's why that one gets me. So anyway, when with regards to with regards to the message and what I'm trying to share here is, as you're building up this momentum over these next 90 days and what you're going to be doing with regards to your health, begin with the end in mind. What kind of legacy do you want to be leaving? Do you want to be that person who was running circles around people half your age well into your later years? Or do you, I mean, I know nobody wants to be remembered as that person who was sickly or had to take care of them. Nobody wants that. Nobody does. But if you don't get to decide, you can't decide at 85 years old, okay, now is the time to get healthy. What the decisions you make in your 30s, 40s, and 50s, those dictate your 60s, your 70s, and your 80s. Okay, that you have to make those decisions now. So let me just kind of go into the chat and thank you all so much. Can I just say that, especially for women, as we are starting to round the corner, of 50 years old, and whenever people are like, still tell you that you're looking good, I'm going to tell you, it feels so much better than when you're in your 20s. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Um, s- uh, with regards to like some health exercises and just different things that you can be doing, overall, you just have to like kind of look through my whole channel. There's so much there. I get into so many different things that you can be doing. I don't do as much on the physical therapy side of things as far as like true exercises, but as far as just overall like habits and different things, my specialty really is a blood work expert. So what I really do is I go through and analyze your blood work to be able to know what diseases are emerging, what conditions are coming up, and then how you need to be addressing those specific things. And I'm really very much on the prevention side, and the reversal side. How do you turn all of these things around? And that is how it fits, and how all of that fits into what we're doing here over the course of these next 90 days. Is nobody wants to be sick. I mean, I shouldn't say nobody. the overwhelming majority of people, the people who I work with, the people who follow me, we have too much to do. We don't have time to be down. That is not our legacy. We are people who want to get things done. We want to help people. We want our lives to matter. But that's really hard to do when you're sick and you're tired and you're exhausted and you're stressed and you have no mental clarity and you can't remember half the things that you were wanting to do. And it's just kind of a drudging trying to get to the finish line every single day. I mean, that's what makes it so hard. So the things that I'm just going to encourage you all as far as the community health project in this next 90 days of just momentum building up. What are some of the different habits and the different routines that you have seen? Maybe things that you've brought on from your parents. My sister and I were talking on my drive home about um, we were talking a lot about like just our we were talking about our parents and our legacy, and she was saying how like for years she felt so weird eating without having a piece of butter bread with every single thing that she ate, and how and how it took a long time to kind of work that out of her system, which turns out she's got a gluten intolerance, and that bread really made her feel horrible. So, what are the habits? What are the things that okay, these are just not healthy habits, and I may have inherited those, but I don't want them to go into the next generation. I don't want these things to be um I don't want these things to be the next level for my family, right? I don't want that. I'm not passing that down anymore. Even if I have been doing it, I'm not passing it along. So, and one of the so as the big thing that I love helping people do in with my practice and with my patients is one we utilize the blood work to help us know what to do, because otherwise you're just kind of guessing. Do I need to exercise more? Probably. Or do I need to drink more water? Maybe. You just don't know what the body's asking for. And that's why we use blood analysis to see where is the body deficient. What is the body asking for? If like I just did a conference right before I got on earlier, and then this woman's experiencing extreme fatigue, and she just like I need to know. I've tried all these things. I need to know what to do. And we were able to eliminate, okay, here's the 10 things it's not, but here's the two things it probably is. And from there, then she's not wasting a ton of time and a ton of money trying to figure out what's going on. Just knowing what the problem is, and then here's the solution. Again, we are always looking for natural solutions. So we're not looking for more pills. We're looking for what the body is actually needing. So after this week, so for those of you who are watching this, we're getting on a regular schedule here again now that I'm done with all the conferences and all the traveling. I'll be posting when we're going to be meeting uh, and getting through all of that. So I really appreciate those of you giving me some grace, not knowing exactly when I was going to be popping on, when I wasn't, but um, for the rest of this week, I'll be posting about what time I'm going to be here live. So if you do have questions, but overall, this is the 90-day momentum buildup. We're coming to the end of the year. It's coming to the holidays, and we want them to be amazing. So, and it's what I want for you. So you all have a great rest of your day. I look forward to talking to you more in the coming days.